Welcome into the lounge presented by DraftKings. We're fired up today to have David Ojabo joining us. And David, I want to set the scene here a little bit, just to take listeners and viewers kind of behind the curtain. Around here at this time of the year, it is quiet. You can hear the echoes in the hallway.
Yeah.
However, you have been here, I think, every day since basically the season ended.
Yeah.
So it's basically been you, me, and Cliff hanging out here.
It's a squad right here, man.
and Bryson. We can't forget Bryson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it being here when it's quiet, when there's hardly anybody here, and why have you stuck around and decided to stay here this entire time?
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, it's quiet. But honestly, man, it's very nice just to work, man, and just be in this whole facility. And we're all blessed to be here, you know. So I gotta take advantage of, you know, every second I have here. We know, you know, our days are numbered in this league. We all know that. So I'm just trying to take advantage. And the reason I'm here, honestly, is my flight actually got canceled back home to Scotland, and I just take that as a sign from God, man. And for me, just stay here and work, continue working, and build towards a very successful season, so I can contribute to the team as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, so you've been working. You look great. Do you ever remember being this eager for a season? Because I know Ravens fans are eager to see you.
Yeah.
I'm wondering from you, just compared to other seasons in the past, how eager are you for this season?
Man, I'm so eager, man. And honestly, just the group of guys we have here, man. I want to go to battle with them. That's really how I feel. Got great leaders. You know, we got just great enthusiasm. So I just want to make sure I'm ready to play my part, you know, and help this legendary organization.
All right. So if you were to read any article or listen to any podcast about the offseason practices, everyone always asks, like, who looks good? Who's standing out? You know, we get that question all the time. Who's looking good in practice? And your name was basically at the top of all those lists. That you stood out through all these offseason practices, OTAs, minicamp, that you impressed a lot of people. How did you feel that you did during these offseason practices?
Man, it was my first time pretty much being full go.
It's like our first time seeing you practice.
Exactly. So y'all, you know, all the coaches really getting a full glimpse of, you know, 100% me. So, I mean, get used to it pretty much, you know, and I feel great out there, feeding off, you know, me and Odafe doing our thing, you know, and building chemistry, our whole line, honestly, you know, I mean, that's just single us out. You know, we doing our thing, and most important, we're having fun out there, man. It makes it easier when you're having fun, you know, just smiling, you know, and Coach Chuck Smith, man, he a big part of that. He came in, he just allowing us to be ourselves, man, and use the tools that God gave us to play this game. Yeah,
when you say having fun, like that was one of the things that stood out to me. Like, you brought an energy, and like for second-year player, kind of a first-year player, and like, but you carried yourself like with some swagger and some confidence, and like you weren't afraid. If you would make a play in the backfield, like you let people know about it, and like I liked that. Like I thought that energy brought something extra to practice. And was that always like, is that how you played at Michigan? Did you kind of carry yourself with that confidence and a little bit of trash talk? Like, is that just how you are?
You got to, man. It's football, man. You feel me? And I just love the aspect of, you know, it's either you get God or you get somebody else. You feel me? There's no in between. So you either win or lose. You know, so when you win, you let them know. You feel me? And then when you lose, you try and get your get back. So, yeah, it's a competitive edge. And like I said, we play a kid's sport, man. You know, you got to have fun with it. You know, just now we're getting paid for it, you know. So we just got, if we take that pay part out of it, we playing, you know, what Pee Wee people play, the Pee Wee football. So just have fun with it, man.
Yeah.
Now, full disclosure, my son-in-law went to Michigan, and my daughter went to Michigan. That's where they met.
Go Blue.
I know. I did tell David this. I'm an Ohio State fan, so
wow.
I know. I grew up in Columbus. I know. So I'm going to sit out this part of the conversation here.
You should have told me that.
He would have done the podcast.
He didn't want to be here.
I'm home right now. Nah, I'm playing.
Yeah, so I saw you play a lot because my son-in-law watches every Michigan, you know. Yeah. And I loved you at Michigan, but it seemed like that last year there, you just blossomed. And so now coming here, having the same defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, I just want to know, take me back to that year. Why do you think you exploded like that? And do you see a similar situation here with the Ravens.
I mean, honestly, again, I'm happy you brought up Mike McDonald, man. He has a scheme that really like enables us. And let me talk about us specifically as the edges. To, be versatile, use our moves, and kind of, just be free and be ourselves, and then with the addition of Coach Chuck Smith, man, and his wisdom and, his energy, man, the sky's the limit, honestly. So, yeah, as Coach Mike, man, his scheme is what allows us to be ourselves.
I remember when you got drafted and Mike was on the phone. Like, that seemed like an emotional moment for you and him.
Yeah, for sure. Because honestly, with the injury, a lot going on, from falling out of the top 10 to, kind of, just with my family. Now, second round's coming, second round's kind of sliding. And then getting that call when the Ravens, I was like, oh, wow. Hearing Coach Mike, I was like, okay, like, just felt like home, man. You feel me? Because I had just seen him. We were just winning championships together, taking the field, going to war together. So, man, it was emotional, man, and just knowing that, like, I got kind of like a family here, like, take aside the business and the football part, I really got like a family here. And, yeah, I'm just excited to keep it going.
In terms of the scheme, like, when Mike got there to Michigan, did you feel like, this is gonna be a big year for me? Did you expect to have? I mean, you had double-digit sacks, and all of a sudden, you're one of the guys it's being mentioned as a top 10 pick, and all this stuff. Like, did you kind of feel that way going into the season? Like, what was your mindset going into that last year at Michigan?
Oh, I knew.
You knew.
I knew. This is a very pivotal moment. Coach Mike, actually, in one of our walkthroughs, he pulled me to the side and said, hey, look, come here. He said, we're going to have fun. You're going to get 10-plus sacks and get out of here. I just said, all right, say no more. I swear, he told me that quick. And that was one of the few conversations we, like, really had where I was like, okay, like, there's a bigger vision to this. And ever since that, I just trusted his vision because he the one in control, so he already sees, everything, from high up. So when he said that, I said, all right, cool, like I know what's about to go down because you got to trust, the coaches who trust you. So when he said that, I was like, all right, let's do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It is. You mentioned, you felt like you were coming home when the Ravens drafted you. But, I mean, you don't have the typical NFL player story. I mean, you're a long way from home. Right. So, Garrett, he shared with me this article where someone interviewed your father, and they asked him if when you were 10 years old, someone told you that you were going to be an NFL player, he would have said, oh, what's the NFL? Right. What was it like? When did NFL first come on your radar, or was it even on your radar until you got to America?
Like, truth be told, I really didn't even know about football till I came to America. You hear about Tom Brady, the legends, but to really say I knew about football, I really didn't. I knew the celebrities in the game. And so even when I came to America, it wasn't until, I met Odafe and got to playing and seeing him do his thing. I was like, okay, football, like, you could do something with this. And so, yeah, it's very, very new to this day. I'm sure my mom only knows one or two things about sack and touchdown, And so, yeah, it's a new thing, and that's why we're trying to grow the sport, not only for myself, my family, but also people back home in Scotland who might not even know, and just overseas in general, because it is a foreign sport, American football, so... Yeah. So
you were born in Nigeria, and then when you're 7, you moved to Scotland.
Yeah.
And then when you're 15, you come to the United States to go to Blair Academy in New Jersey, which is a boarding school.
Yeah.
And tell me about that transition of coming to the United States. Like, was that something that you wanted? Like, how did that all come about?
Yeah, so honestly, I was just kind of I dreamed big, man. So I would watch, like, LeBron, Kobe, and
you had hoop dreams.
Yeah, I really did. I had hoop dreams. So, like, I started off playing soccer, so I was like kind of like nimble, and then I got bigger and I was like taller. I was like, okay, let me switch to basketball. And that's when I started, watching all them and just kind of dreaming big. And so at the age of like 14, I just started emailing schools and just trying to ask them to give me a chance pretty much. And me and my brother made like a little mixtape of just like the highlights I had so we could attach that to the emails. Some didn't respond, some gave me a little, phony response, and then, one or two actually gave me a chance. And, God blessed me with Blair Academy because, that's a very prestigious school. And the opportunity they gave me, obviously put me in the position I am now.
Interesting. So you basically, you make a basketball highlight tape, and you wanted to go to, and you just felt like going to the United States would offer you the ability to take that dream to the next level?
Yeah, so, back home we see America as like the land of opportunity, or just like more opportunity, more exposure, at least in the sports industry, you know. So that's why I just want to take that next step and, just further my game and just at least let me get a chance to chase my dreams to go pro. And the one thing, man, I'm Nigerian. All the Nigerians out there know school comes first. So my parents let me know I needed my education. Sports, it don't go sports and then school. So that's why I need to be a prestigious school who took education, seriously. And then, of course, my grades had to be tip-top. Had to be. Before I could even mention leaving, had to be tip-top. So
interesting. And so you get on a plane, you fly across the ocean, and you're in the United States at 15 years old, 3,000 miles away from home. Like, what is that transition like when you're learning a new place? You're making new friends, which a lot of people do at that age, but not coming from a whole different country. And then your support system, your family is back in Scotland.
Man, it was tough, man. I'll be lying if I said it was easy, I'm a mama's boy, you feel me? So not being able to see your moms, as much, I probably see them maybe once, if I was lucky, twice a year for like 2 weeks. So it was tough, man. But like I said, my dream came first. I made a decision. I brought it to my parents.
Really?
So, yeah, I was saying I literally told my people like, hey, I want to take it to the next level. And I started doing the research, and they didn't say, hey, go to America. They, of course, my mom wanted to keep me in Scotland with her.
Right.
I was 15, so I knew that I made the decision. So I had to kind of like put my emotions to the side and just work. Even now, like I told you, my flight got canceled. That means I'm only going to see my family, once this year. God bless the London game, so I'll see them, but only see my family once this year. But yeah, put the emotion to the side and just work. That's all I know.
So you get there and you're playing ball, and then Odafe makes the switch to football. How much did him doing that influence you to do the same?
That's really my brother, man. I've been following him since I got to America, honestly. I seen him have a lot of success in his first year of football. I flat out said, shoot, I could do the same. And but I didn't realize what I was really getting myself into, because people like, man, you got to hit with your head. And I was like, ooh. Because man, you come from basketball where, you hit somebody, fouls. Right. Soccer, you bump somebody, yellow card, all that. So now it's in football. If you don't hit, you're not playing. So I didn't really know I was getting myself into, but all I knew is I see my brother, get right off it. So I gave it a chance and, found success too.
Did you ever think about going with him to Penn State, or how did Michigan come about?
So yeah, honestly, I really did. And the sole reason I went to Michigan was I want to create my own legacy, man, because in Blair Academy, much respected, I was kind of like under Odafe, like following him. David's doing what Odafe doing. Right. Love. Ain't no pride, you know what I'm saying? No ego, because I know that he did it. And but now, I got something going for myself, I could have followed him, continue that whole, he following Odafe, but I was like, let me branch out, do my own thing, and, go be legendary somewhere else. And, still in the Big Ten, so we seen each other. And, I see how God worked. Now we back here together, right where we started. So when our separate ways made a legacy in our respective schools, come here and God willing make a legacy here.
How quickly did you pick up football? Like, tell me your first practice. So you're put on the pads. So do you feel like confident and comfortable? Are you completely lost out there?
Man, I was so lost, bro. I really didn't know what I was doing. Shout out Coach Saylor, because he, my head coach at the time, he really he was easy with me. He didn't put too much pressure on me. And he made it simple. He said, look, you see that quarterback?
Go get him.
Go get that guy. He's like, and I'm telling you, it was to the point where I was literally not even trying to regard the guy in front of me. I was just so focused on getting that quarterback, or running back, and just getting the ball, which I think that's where, it translates to my game in Michigan with forced fumbles, because I was just focused on that ball. You know, I was not trying to kill no quarterback. I see ball, I get ball, you know. So, you know, I just keep things simple, man. And, you know, again, shout out Coach Saylor.
That's all. And then you start getting offers pretty quick, right?
Oh, so the crazy part is, again, shout out Odafe. Odafe put me on.
You're giving a lot of shout outs here.
I'm telling you, man, you got to show love, man. So, Odafe, before I even put on a helmet, in fact, my first helmet was a Rutgers helmet.
Okay.
My second helmet was a Maryland helmet. Then my third helmet was the Blair Academy helmet. Okay. So I went on 2 visits, college visits, before ever stepping on a football field.
Just because what? They're like size, speed, they saw you get off the bus, and they're like, this is a guy we want on our team.
Again, like, Odafe did it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like the up and coming.
Yeah.
I won't lie. Me, Odafe, my boy Ekram, and this guy Justice, we hold a record for the 4x1 relay.
Yeah.
So they were seeing me, Odafe,
yeah,
and I hand the baton to each other. So, you know, we put on film where it's okay, like we some freaks kind of moving, and so that hype and buzz going around, you know, the East Coast is what, you know, got me going. That's
early. Crazy. So even before you're playing football, you're getting visits. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then after my first season, I had, I think, like 35 offers.
Wow.
It was wild. Yeah, it was blessings, man. It was blessings.
Now, obviously, I know how close you and Odafe are, and then, you know, he played in college with a guy like Micah Parsons, who's, you know, I have a feeling like, you know, that you're just not thinking about being a good player, that you're thinking about being, you know, a guy. Like, you know, like when people say your name, they know who you're talking about. Am I right on that? And do you feel like with such a late start, that means that even though some people say, well, he's still learning, that the potential that you have is maybe higher than guys who've been playing this game their whole life?
Yeah, man. It's all about learning, man. And the fact that I'm at this level so early, you know, it just shows how much more growth I have. You know, I'm at the highest level, and I, you know, kind of just started. So I'm really just excited, you know, just keep learning, man. I'm, like I said, legendary organization, got hell of a coaching staff, and I'm just ready to learn and honestly, like you said, reach my potential. You know, there's so much to get out there.
So obviously the disappointing part of your story was the injury, which we all know. You've talked about it plenty of times. How long did it take you to mentally recover from that?
Oh, nah, man. I told myself I was only going to cry once. And that was as soon as I tore it. And then after that, Coach Herb, my strength coach, shout out Coach Herb, you know, he just taught me his mentality of, man, you just got to get it done. You know, all that emotion, you know, it really won't get it done. So how am I going to fix my keys? How am I going to get back? How am I going to, like, you got to think progressively, you know. Emotions don't really get things done, you feel me? So, yeah, I was on it. I mean, I flew out the next day, got my surgery the next day. So within 3 days, I was back on the track to recovery.
Interesting.
You know, so.
And you just wanted to get, like,
I
just want to get it done.
Just go. Come on. Look, man, ain't crying and sobbing and feeling bad for yourself won't fix the leg. You know, and that's just the harsh reality for some people. So I did my little crying, you know, and then I was like, how can I get back as quick as possible? And, you know, God willing, you know, I came back that same season, right, you know, again, and I got my first sack, first forced fumble, even first debut, all that. I came back and because I got it done. I worked.
It's interesting, like, hearing your mindset on that, because I even remember, like, you would walk around the practice field with the boot on before, like, when you first got here. And a lot of guys, like, when they're hurt, like, they're just not on the practice field. They're rehabbing or whatever. But, like, it just, I remember seeing you out there for the first couple times, and it just seemed like you knew where you wanted to get to, and, like, just even being on the field was, like, seemed like that was something that was important to you.
Yeah, man. Look, you got to visualize it too, man. I didn't want to just, you know, sit back and, you know, kind of, again, like, sob and feel bad for myself. Like, now I was up on that boot to the point where, you know, Coach Harves was getting mad at the medical staff for letting me walk around so much. But I told him that's what I want to do, man. You know, obviously with the safety protocols, right, but I just want to be out there, be with the guys, you know, feel how it is to walk. Because if I'm being real, I was kind of in a cast for a little bit. I couldn't actually walk, crutches. So as soon as I got in the boot, I was ready, man. I was ready. If I could, I'll start running. But I just did it the right way, you know. But I was just eager, man, you know, to get back to work.
It's awesome. I also like what you said. You know, this is the last injury question because you said at during the offseason, one of the press conferences, you were getting a bunch of questions like this, and you're like, "I'm just done talking about it."
I'm
and
tired,
and your
man.
mindset. It's just kind of interesting to hear. Like your mindset is looking forward. You're not looking in the past, and you're carrying yourself that way. Like, you don't want to talk about it anymore. You want to just move past it.
I'm tired of it, man. Like, you know, I don't want it to. It's gonna be part of my story, but I don't want that to when they think about Ojabo, they think about Achilles or think about injury. Like, I've never been injured before. You know, God been protecting me. So, you know, this is honestly, I think this is what God did to bring me back to comfortability, you know, with Coach Harbaugh, Coach Mike, Odafe, you know, just the people I know. So I know it's God's plan, man. So I'm not thinking about it as some, man, he lost millions, man, he fell out of the top 10. Guess what? I'm still playing football. You know, I'm going to get what I need to get, you know. So I'm tired of hearing about the injury and, you know, just put in my past and move forward, get to work.
Yeah, earlier you said, you know, I'm looking forward to going to war with these guys. And, you know, talking to you, Roquan a few weeks ago, Marlon, I'm getting the feeling like, yeah, that the defense has kind of an edge, a special kind of edge this year, that you guys know you can do something special and that you really just want to prove it. Are you feeling that too, being around those guys and getting ready to be around them every day?
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, we all feed off each other, man. It's a different type of, and I felt it in Michigan too. I really knew we were about to like do what we did. Like, you just feel it when everybody's clicking. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that's what we have in the locker room now. And we just gotta put it on paper. You know, can't talk too much. That's how people get caught up. Don't talk about it, man. When the pads come on, you know, when the lights come on, when it's showtime, go put on a show. You feel me?
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, with you as I just think ahead to this season, and I just think that like, who knows how the season, like the expectations. But I look at you and what I saw in practice during the offseason, I'm like, this guy could get double-digit sacks this year. Like, who knows? We'll see. But like, I think that potential exists. What are your expectations for this year?
I mean, man, if we're talking just factually, like, double digits is all I know. You know, I only played one season in Michigan, so my only thing is, okay, we're going to get it. I'm going to just carry that through. You feel me? Just to keep it as short and brief as possible. You know, I just go get the ball, get the quarterback, win games, you know. And I don't like putting numbers on things. I don't like, you know, it's a team sport. I'm going to do what I need to do to help this team win and go all the way.
How much is taken, you know, when training camp starts, I mean, you'll be taking reps, you know, against some really good offensive linemen. How much does that help you? You know, you got guys like Morgan out there, Ronnie. How much does that sharpen you, especially being a young player who obviously is still growing?
I mean, man, honestly, it's a blessing, you know. These guys made a lot of money and rightfully so, you know. So going against vets like that, it only gets me better, you feel me? And so that when I go against people, you know, less than them, hopefully it should be food, you know. So it just is day by day just grinding against really, really good players, and, you know, I'm excited.
You mentioned the London game. Obviously, that's not home exactly, but it's close, you know. And I'm sure you're going to have a ton of family there. Man. I know we were talking about tickets one time.
Man, playing for free, man. Everybody covered that.
Yeah. Are you, when you found out that game was on the schedule, were you fired up?
I was so happy, man, because like I said, I don't get to see my family often, and I'm a family guy, man. So when I knew, you know, I could play in front of my family, not only my family, my people, you know, the people that come down from Scotland, you know, my UK supporters and down south in England. It's just like, man, again, God's plan. This is my first full season in the NFL, and I'm going back to where I'm from. Like, what's the coincidence about that, you know? So I don't ask no questions, man. I know everything happens for a reason, and just keep my faith strong.
I remember last year, I think maybe it was around Thanksgiving or Christmas, you had your family here, and they came out to a practice, and, like, seeing all of you together, it was I think sometimes you forget about what you're saying, which is like you just don't get the opportunity to see them like once a year, you know? And seeing, I remember taking pictures of you guys after practice and interacting, and like that just seemed like a pretty special moment for them to be at an NFL practice. And I mean, like you were joking about, maybe even to them, it's like, what is all this? It's probably a little bit shocking even to them to come and see that environment. But it was cool. Yeah, it was just cool to see.
No, it was really good to have them. And I don't know if they know, where or like how many legends have come through here. But I think they're just happy to be around me, and vice versa. And of course, just be around the team and see what their son and family member is doing. And hopefully get them up here as much as possible. But they got their own lives to live, same way I can't just disappear and go chill in Scotland for a couple of weeks. They can't really come down here like that. So any time I have to see them, I cherish it.
Last question for me. How hard did you push Terrell Suggs to try to get number 55?
I knew my place, man. Don't ask your question, get your answer, keep it moving. You feel me? I'm a rookie. You got to earn it. Everything earned in this league, So, a legend like that, you can't play around with that. And end of the day, you make the number. A number don't make you. So, shoot, if I ball out in 90, maybe I might be a legendary number. I don't need to worry about 55. So, everything happens for a reason.
Awesome, man. Well, we can't wait to see what you do this year. It's been fun watching you this offseason. I think big things are in store, so appreciate the time.
God bless, man. Thank you.
So big thanks to David Ojabo for stopping by the SeatGeek studio. Also, we want to give a shout out to our friends at DraftKings because they are the official sports betting partner of the Baltimore Ravens, and it has a limited time offer that you don't want to miss. Here's what you need to do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when you do that, Cliff, use the promo code FLOCK. If you're a new user, you can get a deposit bonus of up to $1,000. That's only at DraftKings, and get that done today. You need to be over 21 and physically present in Maryland to play. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. So shout out to our friends at DraftKings. And Cliff, I just really enjoyed the conversation with David, man. I mean, this guy... I love his attitude. I love the confidence that he has. I think also his perspective. Like, this is a guy who's had a wild road, like we talked about, highs and lows. And I just think he's got a really good head on his shoulders. I'm excited to see what he does. Yeah, I mean, obviously very engaging, very self-motivated, talking about him being here, just working, grinding every day. I feel like, he feels he got robbed kind of his rookie year, and he's so eager to get on the field. And, we're all just, I think, fascinated by what he might be able to do, what he did in Michigan, just immediately a guy who hadn't played much high school football, becoming a star. He's a getting off the bus type guy. I mean, you look at him, you put 22 guys at the park, and you don't know anything about him, he's going to be one of the first guys picked. I mean, his whole demeanor, it exudes athleticism and confidence. And I think that, with a team like the Ravens, which has lofty goals, I think he's going to add juice to the defense. He's flies around the field, plays with a lot of enthusiasm, going to get an opportunity to make an impact. And I think he's fully ready to take advantage of it. Yeah, like, to that question I asked about having fun, like, he does, for a guy that has really not played much, he doesn't act timid at all. And I like that. Like, I think you kind of need that edge as a pass rusher. Like, you can't be standing across from these great tackles and be timid and be scared. Like, that's not the way Ravens defensive players operate. And, like, he embodies that. And I think that, that is going to bring some juice to this defense. Yeah. And I know, we spent time talking about whether the Ravens could add a pass rusher, and that's a question. Justin Houston's still out there, all of that. Do they end up bringing somebody else in? Maybe, but I think part of the reason that they haven't is because there's real confidence in Ojabo and, like, what he can do, and the expectations that he has for himself and the team has for him this year are high. Yeah, that was interesting, too, what he said about being back in Michigan with Mike McDonald and getting pulled aside like, hey, man, you're the guy. Go get it. He did. Like, Mike could see the potential that he had and really felt it was going to happen. That made Ojabo feel even more that it was going to happen. I think it's really fascinating how he ends up here
with Oweh and Mike McDonald. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? Very slim. So he's in a perfect spot, I feel, already with guys he knows, in a defense that he knows, and now he has an opportunity to play. He doesn't have a whole bunch of vets in front of him. It's like, hey, go play. Mm-hmm. And he's really taking it seriously. He's not taking it for granted. He's taking it seriously.
Yeah, like I think that's part of the reason that he's here. Like days are short, and your days are numbered. And I just think he feels like he has something to prove. We got to get Mike on the podcast and ask him what conversation he's pulled away or Ojabo aside this year and told him,
right.
what are you saying to him? You see double-digit sacks again this year? Like what is that conversation that he's going to be talking about a couple of years from now?
Yeah, I mean, Mike, I think it's the low-key things, but you look at him and also Aiden Hutchinson.
Of course. I mean, those two guys in Mike's 1 year who, like, those guys weren't like – Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson weren't mentioned as like top 5 picks
before he got there.
It's
true. I mean, that's what happened, and they're doing it, playing in the Big Ten. So yeah, it is interesting. I mean, he's not going to give away all the state's secrets, but Mike has a clear vision, I feel, for those two guys, or everyone on defense. But he knows Ojabo so well, having already worked with him, and even though it was a shame that Ojabo didn't get to play much last year, he also had a chance to kind of sit back, watch, absorb what the Ravens do, really get a feel mentally for it. And so now that he's out there physically, even though it's like his rookie year, he had that kind of redshirt year in the NFL to prepare himself for this year. So in the long run, even though it was painful for him not to be able to play, it might actually help him, because when he gets out there now in the second year in this defense, I think he's just ready to fly around.
Yeah, and I think, like as I said, his perspective on all of it is good. Like, he firmly believes it all happened for a reason. Like, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I got drafted where I'm supposed to be. Like, the twists and turns and the ups and downs, like, it all has led to a point where he feels like he's ready for a big season, and I think he's going to have one. I really do. So it'll be interesting to see him in training camp, and I can't wait. So as always, you can email us at the lounge at ravens.nfl.net. We'd love to hear your questions, so send in those questions. Training camp is right around the corner here. Guys, pretty soon, Ojabo's not going to be the only guy walking around here. It's going to be a very busy place. The players are coming back, so it's starting. You're starting to see more faces and more guys are back, and so it's going to be a very busy place over the next week, and we're going to be here bringing you all the coverage throughout training camp. So stay tuned for some more fun stuff to come. Thanks for listening and for watching. We'll talk with you again soon.